Here are the headlines for Friday afternoon, August 16, 2024. Watch. Amazon's Alexa says Trump wasn't shot. Amazon's virtual assistant Alexa denied that former President Donald Trump was shot, contradicting the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which confirmed that Trump was hit by a bullet in an assassination attempt. When asked about the incident, Alexa replied that Trump was not really shot and claimed there were two attempted assassinations, one in 2016 and another in 2024, both of which were stopped and resulted in arrests. However, the Federal Bureau of Investigation stated that Trump was indeed hit by a bullet during the incident, despite earlier doubts raised by director Christopher Wray, who suggested it may have been shrapnel or glass. CNN loses another motion in defamation case as court orders Tapper to appear. A court has denied CNN's motion to block the deposition of Jake Tapper in a defamation lawsuit filed by Navy veteran Zachary Young. The case centers around a November 11, 2021 segment on CNN's The Lead with Jake Tapper, which claimed that Young was exploiting desperate Afghans by charging them exorbitant fees to flee Afghanistan. The court has found evidence of malice by CNN, including internal messages from correspondent Alex Marquardt stating his desire to nail Young and CNN editor Matthew Phillips responding, "Gonna hold you to that cowboy." The damages in the case could be massive, with Young seeking punitive damages. Tapper's deposition is expected to focus on financial questions related to the lawsuit. Man with $132 million activist stake in JetBlue made his money on GameStop. Vladimir Galkin, a billionaire born in Moscow who moved to the United States at 15, has invested $132 million in JetBlue stock. He aims to build a 9.9% stake in the airline, driven by his belief in its long-term potential. Galkin has met with top executives and supports new CEO Joanna Girardi's efforts to streamline operations, but he is not pushing for major changes or seeking a director role. Instead, he advocates for greater stock ownership by JetBlue's board members to align their interests with shareholders. Collective obliviousness. Concerns about the United States economy seem to have faded after just 2 weeks since the sharp deterioration in the employment report sparked a sell-off, with markets now expecting a Goldilocks scenario. The carry trade that blew up markets has found new appeal, despite some analysts suggesting that this might be premature. Emergency and outsized rate cuts are no longer being priced in, and instead, a more plausible cutting cycle is expected. Yesterday's United States data helped to further erase some of the market-implied odds of big rate cuts, with initial and continuing jobless claims dropping again and easing concerns about the labor market deteriorating rapidly. Kremlin, United States lying about non-involvement in Kursk attack. A top aide to Russian President Vladimir Putin, Nikolai Patrushev, has accused the United States of lying about its involvement in Ukraine's recent military operation into Kursk region. Patrushev claims that the U.S. provided direct support and participation in Kiev's actions, which have forced over 120,000 civilians to evacuate. The White House has denied any foreknowledge of the operation, but a Pentagon official acknowledged that Ukrainian forces were able to achieve operational security, surprising the Russian. Patrushev also accused NATO intelligence agencies of assisting directly and claimed that the West had put a criminal junta at the head of Ukraine, supplying Kiev with weapons and military instructors. The situation has escalated tensions between Russia and Ukraine, with Putin ruling out peace talks and U.S. officials predicting further sabotage in cross-border campaigns. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents arrest illegal alien serial killer, wanted for 23 murders in Peru after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris released him in the United States. Vice President Kamala Harris is facing criticism for her soft-on-crime policies and support of open borders, which have led to the influx of millions of illegal aliens into the United States. Under her watch as border czar, many criminals, including those on the FBI's terror watch list, have entered the country. Recently, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents arrested a Peruvian gang leader in New York who was wanted for 23 murders in Peru and had been released into the country after being caught at the border in May. The incident highlights the consequences of failed border policies under the Biden-Harris administration, which has prioritized broad amnesty for illegal aliens over national security and public safety. San Francisco City Attorney sues sites that undress women with artificial intelligence. San Francisco City Attorney David Chiu has filed a lawsuit against the owners of 16 websites that allow users to create non-consensual nude images of women and girls using artificial intelligence models trained on images of pornographic content and child sexual abuse material. The websites have received 200 million visits in just 6 months, with some boasting the ability to see anyone naked or create fake nude images of individuals without their consent. Chia's office claims that these images are virtually indistinguishable from real ones and have been used to extort, bully, threaten, and humiliate women and girls, including children as young as 13 years old. Operation Harris for President is one of the shadiest in media history. The past month has been eventful in American politics, yet the top officials of the United States have avoided answering genuine questions from journalists. Joe Biden stepped down as a presidential candidate due to concerns about his physical and mental abilities, but he has not publicly clarified why he took this step or how he can still serve out his term, despite being unfit to campaign for the presidency. The new Democratic presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, who has never won a primary vote, has also evaded real interviews and extemporaneous political statements since her nomination. This lack of transparency is not being scrutinized by the media, which instead continues to report on Harris' message without pressing her for answers or explanations about her record and positions. These are the biggest company political action committee donations for the 2024 presidential election. Companies in the United States have donated significant amounts of money to political action committees (PACS) associated with their companies. In the first 12 months of the 2024 election cycle, PACs raised $3.7 billion from individuals and companies seeking to support particular parties or candidates. The top 10 publicly traded companies donating to company-associated PACs in 2024 were led by diversified technology and manufacturing company Honeywell International Inc., which donated $3,500,000, with the majority of its contributions going to Democratic Party affiliate PACS. Trump, I told Netanyahu when fast because the killing has to stop. Former United States President Donald Trump advised Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to swiftly achieve victory in the ongoing Gaza war during their private conversation. Trump revealed that he told Netanyahu to get it done quickly when they met last month at his Florida estate, Mar-a-Lago. However, Trump denied pressing Netanyahu for a ceasefire and instead asserted that Netanyahu knows what he's doing. Trump has criticized United States Vice President Kamala Harris for openly urging a quick ceasefire, stating that it would only give Hamas time to regroup and launch a new attack. Will the Federal Reserve get Kamala elected? The Federal Reserve, led by Chairman Jay Powell, is likely to cut interest rates in September, but only by 0.25 percentage point. This move could be seen as a boost to the stock market, which would in turn benefit the Democrats' chances of winning the presidential election, putting Powell at odds with President Donald Trump. If Trump wins the election, he may seek revenge against Powell and the Fed by nominating allies to fill vacant seats on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors or seeking legislation to reduce the Fed's powers and autonomy. Sit tight with your portfolio. Goldman's top trader sees in a liquid August exceedingly busy fall ahead. Tony Pasquariello, head of hedge fund coverage at Goldman Sachs, notes that the past 10 days have been characterized by what has not happened, namely no significant repercussions from recent volatility shock. Despite some positive macro and microeconomic data points such as solid retail sales and claims figures, other indicators suggest a more mixed picture, leading to a conclusion that the overall outlook may be less rosy than Pasquariello's optimistic assessment suggests. China launches own version of Starlink to challenge United States dominance in space. China launched the first batch of 18 satellites in its Qianfan Constellation project, aiming to create a network of 14,000 satellites capable of surveilling every corner of the Earth. The Chinese Communist Party's project is seen as an attempt to challenge the United States' space dominance in SpaceX's Starlink, which has provided Ukraine with internet and communication services during its war with Russia. China plans to launch half of the satellites by the end of next year and another half by the end of 2027. The Qianfan Constellation project is also seen as a means for China to develop anti-satellite capabilities and prepare for potential conflicts with the United States, showcasing the regime's ambitions despite its current economic downturn. The winners and losers of the artificial intelligence power boom. Artificial intelligence technology is causing a surge in the United States power demand, particularly from data centers, which has led to an increase in wholesale electricity prices. This trend is expected to continue as consumption grows, resulting in higher profits for power-generating firms and utilities, but also potentially leading to higher household bills for consumers. The need for more power resources and increased investments in transmission lines and grid expansions and upgrades will likely raise the cost of household electricity prices, with electric utility stocks on the rebound this year due to the surge in artificial intelligence technology, creating an unlikely winner on the stock market. Scholars create app to track offensive, harmful street names. A group of Spanish scholars have created an app called STNAMESLAB that helps identify racially offensive, harmful street names in North America and Western European countries. The app allows users to search for specific terms used in street names, provides exact locations, and offers downloadable spreadsheets of the streets. Professors Derek Alderman, Joshua Inwood, and Daniel Otto-Peralteas describe the app as an important education tool that helps communities understand how discriminatory beliefs are woven into everyday spaces. The app has revealed a pervasive problem with street names containing words like savage and squaw, which originated from European settlers corrupting Native American language to reduce indigenous women to simplistic and sexualized images. Snarled supply chain paralyzes Rivian delivery van production for Amazon. Rivian Automotive shares dipped slightly in pre-market trading after the company confirmed that production of its electric commercial van had been paused due to a part shortage at its assembly lines in Normal, Illinois. The pause is not expected to impact Amazon's order for 100,000 electric delivery vans by the end of this decade, with about 15,000 already in service. A spokesperson said part shortages are common across the industry and that production for their own electric pickup and SUV models has been unaffected. Rivian shares have been trading between $40 and $10 over the past 2 years amid a downturn in the electric vehicle space and a resulting price war by Tesla to protect market share. Gold's power play. Gold is poised to break above its current consolidation pattern, which could signal a significant price increase. The metal has been trading in a narrow range for some time, but technical indicators suggest that it may be ready to make a move higher. A breakout above the consolidation level would likely attract new buying interest and drive prices up further. Democrats' consumer confidence rebounded post-Biden, buying conditions crashed. A University of Michigan sentiment survey showed a small rebound in consumer confidence in August, driven entirely by hope, as current conditions fell to their lowest since December 2022. Inflation expectations remained flat, while buying conditions continued to decline overall, with homes and durables at record lows and vehicles ticking up modestly off record lows. Confidence rebounded for Democrats but tumbled further for Republicans after Biden was ousted. The survey found that 41% of consumers believe Kamala Harris is the better candidate for the economy, while 38% chose Donald Trump. Michael Hartnett's best charts and 18 must-know statistics for investors. Bank of America's chief investment strategist, Michael Hartnett, advised investors not to panic in his latest note. Greed, fear, and forced buying. Here's the summary of the text in a single paragraph. The simple strategy of investing greedily when others are fearful and fearfully when others are greedy has proven effective once again. This straightforward approach to making investment decisions has been shown to be successful, but the details of its application and outcome are not provided.